Well, Joe, I don't suppose it gets any easier. You've had a sort of couple of days to sort of process what's been happening. Do you have sort of talks with players? Do you sort of let them know now what you're thinking over the remaining couple of games?
Yeah, we sat down with the boys yesterday and had a quite open discussion. You know, we obviously kept that between the players and the coaching group, um, and spoke about the reasons why they think the obviously the poor season has happened. And they were honest. They are an honest bunch of lads. They were honest, and I think they were um, quite realistic in where they see the fault occurring, and it can be traced back a long time before obviously the people would perceive the damage to be done. So it's difficult, and you have to have those tough moments, and you have to really look inside. And mainly for me, I'm saying to the guys, it's important that you learn why this has happened so that it doesn't happen again. We've got some players who are in their first season as professional footballers, or young players who are coming into a senior group for the first time. And you have to explain to them, look, guys, this is not the way it's done. This is not the way to be a professional footballer. I'm fortunate in terms of I've been lucky enough to have a good enough career to know what good looks and feels like. I'm being enough good and bad teams, by the way, to understand how you get success in this game. And it's tough. If it was easy, if winning was easy, everybody would do it. It's so special when you win. When you stand in front of 80,000 at Wembley and lift a trophy, securing promotion, or when you win a league title and you carry it on the shoulders of your fans around a pitch at home park. Those special moments live with you forever. Burnley at Turf Moor, I've got my little lad on my shoulders. They're priceless. There's no monetary figure. There's no amount of wages you get paid that give you that feeling and that special bond with your teammates that you get through being successful and getting promoted. And then the other side of that is the toughness of a relegation and the hardship of everything that comes off the back of getting demoted out of a league. And it's got to sting. It's got to really, really hurt you. If it doesn't, then you're in the wrong profession. You shouldn't be doing what you're doing if it doesn't sting you. And I think there's a lot of lads in there who it is hurting. Um, but the damage was done. The damage was done when you don't prepare correctly. You can't expect to win games of football, and you have to respect the process. You have to be fit in this game. It's the bedrock in which every good season or every good team's built off. There's a multitude of reasons. I've been here, I've been over it with you in the last 8 or 9 weeks. Forensically, if anybody wants to come and know the ins and outs of it, I can detail it for you. I've got all the sessions that they've done before. We've gone through it with a fine tooth comb. We walk into the building. As I say, I walk in first day. I find 11 chewing tobacco pouches on the training pitch, and at that point I'm like, oh God, what have we got ourselves into? But we've made a fist of it. We're down with 3 to go. If we don't win, on Saturday, we're rightly demoted out of the division, and I can't sit here and say we deserve to stay up, because the league table doesn't lie at this point in the season. It might do after 10 games. It doesn't after 43. We've still got a mathematical chance, albeit a very, very slim one, and we have to pick a team Saturday of the people who are potentially going to be here next year, and they have to show that old team's dead. For me, it died first half on Tuesday night when it rolled over and got its belly tickled. And good riddance to it. Really, really good riddance to it. I don't ever want to coach a team that's in that position ever again, because it's not nice losing games every week. It's not nice losing games of football at any level, and I don't want that to be. It's my first relegation as a coach. It's not my first relegation. I've suffered one at Newcastle, one at QPR, and almost one at QPR on the final day of the season, but for a bit of a rub of the green from a result elsewhere. So look, I've been in these situations before, and out of the back of the Newcastle one, we built a really, really good team that got promoted, won the league at a canter, and obviously solidified itself in the Premier League the year after. At QPR, I left before the rebuild phase took place. So I've been here before. I've been here as a player, and it happens for reasons. It doesn't happen because you've been unlucky. It happens for lots of small decisions over a prolonged period being made, usually 50-50 calls that people get wrong, and we're in this situation because of not one person, but because of lots of people, and myself included. We have to take the responsibility, we have to take the accountability, and we have to move this football club forward. It's got to be one step back. If that does happen and we don't, manage a miracle, because that's what we're in now. We're in a miracle stage. We're relying on 3 wins and a ridiculous goal return. Something that hasn't looked likely all season, but we've still got to fight. So whilst there's fight in us, we've got to give everything we've got, and that starts tomorrow at Portsmouth. And for me, I can keep talking and talking and talking, but at the end of the day, the players have to back it up in action.
Yeah, so only players that you feel have got a future at the club are going to be involved from now on to the end of the season.
No, I think there's obviously due to the amount of injuries we've got. I mean, we've got Jonah Iunga, who's going to be out for probably the season now as well. So due to the number of bodies we've got lads who are clearly not going to be here next year. Either they're not our player or they're out of contract, and there'll be moments for them between now and the end of the season for sure, because we don't have a depth in the squad that allows us to pick 11 players and expect them to play the next 3 games. But there is players who are under contract here who I think can help us be successful next year. If the inevitable happens, then we have to change a losing culture into a winning culture really quickly, because League Two is a unforgiving league. It's a tough league. I don't think you're just going to drop down. And you've seen Salford this year spending gazillions, and they don't even look like they're going to get in the playoffs. So it's a league that rewards good structures, good discipline, and if you're not in those spaces, then you won't be successful, because it's a league that tests out your manliness. I know that's a little bit, you got to be careful saying that at the moment with the way we live in the world, but it really does test your physicality. The refereeing decisions. If you think you've seen everything in the game, then I've been spending my last 48 hours watching lots of League Two games, getting myself fully acquainted with the trials and tribulations of a League Two campaign. It's somewhere I never played as a player, but somewhere as a coach. I'm desperate to be successful. As I say, I've got the championship badge. I've taken that a couple of times, 3 times out of 3. Not won League One, and I didn't feel like I had the whenever you see yourself linked with championship jobs, I never ever felt I was ready for the championship job, because I haven't won League One. Finished 5th or whatever with Fleetwood, probably would have been higher. I think we definitely would have got promoted had COVID not stopped the season. But that's all if, buts, and maybes, and the reality of it is, we've just been relegated or about to be relegated out of the division. So you have to win. For me, if you get an opportunity to win League Two, then take it. It's a league, and every league has its own idiosyncrasies. And I think, for the coach, you should be trying to win every division that you're in every season. As you get up the pyramid, it gets less and less realistic, that, because it becomes very, very financially motivated, and you haven't got a gazillion pounds to spend on players, then you're not able to compete, certainly in the top table. But in the division we're in next season, whether that's a miracle this season we stay in League One, or whether that's League Two, which looks highly likely, we're going to have 12,000 fans coming in wanting and expecting to win. There's a different focus on that. At the moment in time, we've lost 25 league games out of 43. The team that goes down from League One to League Two, there's only 21% chance of a return at the first attempt. The average league position of those sides going down is 12th. So it's not, it's not an instant return. You don't, look at Southend this year. I know it's been a tough period for them, but they've gone and gone again. So there's no God-given right just because we've got a big passionate fan base that we're just going to batter everyone next season, and we're going to go from the team that's sitting bottom of one table to the team that's sitting top of another. We're deluded if we think that's the way. There's some hard moments and hard work in front of us, and we've got to be prepared to pay the ultimate price once pre-season 26th of June rolls about. We've got to be prepared to sacrifice and be the physically fittest team in the division.
And how do you change the culture? How do you go around eradicating the things that you've detailed that you don't want to see next year?
Um, you do that a multitude of ways. So obviously there's an organic culling of the playing staff due to contracts expiring. We need to figure out which ones we're keeping and which ones we're not. Um, there's also, the opportunity at this club because of the owner's investment. He's invested in a new training ground that should be finished before we return to pre-season, which gives us a massive carrot to say, look, whatever you knew as Rovers beforehand is not what it is now. As it is, you come in the midst of a firefighting moment, and you're trying to put fires out everywhere and trying to get the required points on the board to stay up. But the operating standards from next season, that have been allowed to, run through the campaign this season, just will not be accepted. So there's an opportunity for people between now and the end of the season to show that they want to be part of this and that they want to, they want to come on this journey forward with us. There's a few of those players who will be given minutes who have a massive question mark next to them. They'll know because they'll be explained to in absolutely great detail about the situation they're in. There's also players that I'm pretty sure will help us be successful next year. When I look at like Big Anti Jacola, we've got to secure someone like that. He's such a key component. There's a few other players I can mention, and that they're already under contract, and I think they're key components. There's also players who are out of contract, that the likes of a Luke Leahy, who I think it's imperative that we get signed to the football club, because he's been a superb voice in the midst of a bit of a chaotic kind of spell for the club. 10 goals from left back, he should have got 11. Obviously misses the pen Tuesday night, which really, I know we would have made a 2-1, but if it wouldn't have made any difference if it had been to win the game. It might have stung a bit more, but as it was, it would have been a merely consolation goal. And it's important that we keep our best players. And we'll probably be tested by sides in the divisions above us for those players, and it's important. Spoke to the owner last night. We're on the same page in terms of retention lists, players we want to keep, players we think can move forward, but also, the owner's ambitious, and he wants us to, be very, very successful next season. And I think our fan base is the same. It will demand that we are successful from the get-go next season. So I like that. I like that pressure. I like that expectation because it matches my own.